Last night we rocked up to Stoke on the Trent River, and it's so lovely and peaceful here we've decided to stay for a couple of days. The lock behind has got a little island on it, and there's a weir just next to it, and then looking down the river you have this view. You get beautiful sunrises and beautiful sunsets here. So today we are going to take ourselves for a walk and explore the area. This is the app that we use. You can touch the screen to plot your way around the footpaths, and it gives you the time, the distance and the heights. First thing we're going to do this morning is to go and check out the little island over there, see what treasure there is on there. There's some nice blackberries here, and there's a boat up there who has a permanent mooring on the weir. Quite a noisy address, I would have thought.
Please turn me till the message plays.
Hello, I'm a conservation volunteer with BTCV. I've been doing conservation work at Stoke Woods for a couple of years now. It's a great site, particularly being next to the river, as there's always something going on. We work in small groups following the management plan that's been drawn up for the site. We've been trained how to use tools correctly and safely, and we're giving protective clothing to wear, including hard.
The rowan trees have got a good crop this year. The blackberries are suffering. Just over there is a huge big embankment of them, and they're all shriveled. So there's some good ones around, but on the whole, although it looked like there was going to be a good year for blackberries this year, it's you have to find a spot that's shady. What did you find?
Oh, it's only an oak tree, but it's got acorns growing on it, which is rather nice. And then there's some more plants down here, but I've got hardly any battery left now in the camera.
Oh.
So what I'll do is charge it up when we get back, and then I'll come down and get some more photographs.
I love these spiky heads. They're the sort of thing that give me inspiration for my sculpture. Sweet chestnut tree. It's going to be a couple of months before they're ready.
Big path up here.
And I think this is where the lagoons are.
Yeah, there's definitely a body of water over there.
This is a gorgeous walk. So there's a very pungent smell of cow spreading, or cow manure spreading rather, in the air. You can't breathe too deeply. It is better than diesel, you're right. Not sure how the corn is faring this year. Doesn't look too bad. Probably got another couple of weeks before it's ripe. One of the other things I'm looking for this afternoon is nettle seeds. These are great and they're free, rich in iron, calcium, beta carotene, folic acid, vitamin C, just lots of things like that. And you have to make sure that you get the right ones, female rather than male seeds, and all you've got to do is dry them out. I just laid them all on top of the boat until they were dry, put them through a sieve, and these are the nettle seeds that you want to find. These are the ones you don't want. They're male and they have sticky out stamens like that with the seeds on, and they're not very abundant. So ignore those, whereas these are the ones that you're looking for. They're much heavier, hanging down, and you can see there's lots more seeds on there. This is mugwort. Sounds like something very Harry Potterish. It has quite a medicinal smell. Use it in cooking though. I've seen recently some people putting it in with roast potatoes, and you can pop it in scones. Well, we've seen plenty of sloes, but these are bigger, so I think these must be bullace, and they've still got a way to go too. Another month, I guess. This is what you want at the end of any walk. A nice pub. Well, the blackberries I picked earlier were super ripe, so I've got to do something with them quick. So I'm going to make my chia seed jam, which you might have seen me make before. It's great because you need very little sugar. It's really quick, it doesn't involve vats of boiling liquid, and I can get it done in 5 minutes. So if you want the recipe, you put your fruit, whatever sort of fruit, into the pan, and you bring it up to a simmer, and all you're doing is letting the fruit break down a bit and getting some liquid from it. And I like my jam lumpy, so that'll do for me. And then once you've done that, you taste it and you see how sweet it is. And that's really blackberry, but it might be good with just a squirt. So I'm going to put a little squirt of date syrup in. Honey's good, anything like that, and that will do. And then just stir it in and let it dissolve. I know I licked that spoon, but it's only me and Henry eating it. And then, for every cup of fruit puree, you add a tablespoon of chia seeds. And that was 2.5 cups of fruit. So, 2.5 tablespoons of chia seeds. And stir it in. And let it cool, and what will happen is the chia seeds will swell and absorb all of the liquid as it cools down, and then in an hour or two, when that's gone completely cold, it will be set, and all you've got to do is put it in a sterilised jar and eat it within a week, or keep in the freezer if you want to have it for longer than that. But that's it. Super quick. So after an hour or so, it's thickened right up. Still lukewarm. I'm going to chuck it in some little jars, and then when it's really cold it'll be even more solid than that. Sunday morning, and we're cycling along the quiet roads into Radcliffe, which, as the crow flies, is only about a quarter of a mile from our boat, but it's an hour's round trip by road. We have to go up to the bridge, over and down again. This is a plan of Radcliffe, where we are now. We are there, and we are going to try to find our way down Wharf Lane, which will then take us across the railway line and down to the river, and we are parked over here somewhere. So we're about 500 yards from our boat, but 48 minutes by bike, and we're going to try and find our way back around. So here goes. Well, we found Wharf Lane, and the public footpath took us through this mobile home park straight down to the river, and that's where the public footpath ended. And apparently there used to be a ferry that went across a long time ago, I think. Anyway, we have found another footpath here, and it looks like it's going to go up, but we're going to give it a go, although we're going to have to push the bikes. So that's where we just were, down there where the little pontoon is and where the ferry went from. And that's the way we're going tomorrow. And this is our way back today. They've got some memorial benches up here with some quite nice sayings on them. I like this one. He was loved by those who knew him best and liked by those who knew him a little. Next to it is a fabulous throne. We came across a couple of fishermen up on the top path. He told us about this little path down to the weir. They were chatting about the man who tried to walk across the weir last Sunday and unfortunately lost his life. And they were both sad and angry about it. They couldn't understand why somebody would attempt that. I have seen people mucking about on weirs before, but this one doesn't look like the sort you could walk across. It's deceptive really, because standing here the water is literally just a few inches above the top of the weir, so maybe it does look like you could walk across it, but the force of water coming over goes into a deep hole on the other side, and then it's like a washing machine effect and you get stuck in that. And the poor chap from last week, he wasn't found for a couple of days. The police divers got him out I think on Tuesday, and he'd gone in on Sunday night. You just can't muck about on water, everything can turn in an instant. Oh, and there she is. So near and yet so far. Well, the pontoons are all empty now, H. Yeah, that's the thing with adventures, you're never sure where you're going to end up. We're on a stubble field, but we can see in the distance over there the church at Sheldon that we passed through earlier this morning. So we're going in the right general direction. Fantastic summer scenery. Golden and mainly green. But we have noticed on our travels a lot of stressed trees. This birch here has got almost as many yellow leaves as green. And it does look autumnal in some places. We've noticed the roads have been covered in orange leaves. I suppose it's just their survival mechanism. That's it, we're back on our side. And we've moved down to the pontoon that we spotted when we were on the other side, so we don't have to climb up the wall anymore. And it's time for a cup of tea and some foot cooling. Henry's mending the hooter, which stops working every time it rains. And tomorrow we'll be off down there nice and early because it's due to rain tomorrow. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed coming out on our walks with us, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now. Bye, Henry.